Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. What's up, everybody? Good morning and happy Wednesday. Making the turn on this Wednesday of ours, July 29th. Thanks for making us a part of your starts. If you are up and at it, whether you are listening on the radio dials of 105.1 FM, 790 AM, streaming us up online at sportstalk1051.com. You've got your Alexa devices. Got the app, download it, take it on the go. Video stream up and rolling here this morning on YouTube as well. What do we have on our game plan for us this morning? We'll have, first of all, happy day one of training camp, peeps. If you're heading on over to Green Bay for training camp, day one of practice officially begins today. So we'll talk a little green and gold as we get sets for the unofficial, official, I guess it depends on how you view it, start to the Packers season, to the NFL season. So we'll chat some football here this morning as we get set for training camp. What are some of maybe the first things or some of the initial things that you're going to be watching, maybe following or paying attention to with day one of training camp set to begin today? What you got? All right. Brewers wisely last night, back to their winning ways, picking up a W, 8-2 victory. Logan Henderson, solid, especially considering, throwing 33 pitches in the first inning, settling down, and end up going just under 6 innings, 5 2/3, 2 hits, did issue a couple walks, but 7 strikes, no earned runs. And the Brewers picking up that W, getting some aggressive at-bats, 13 total hits for the Brewers, majority of them coming from their top 3. Everybody in that lineup from last night getting in the hit column. So Terang with 3, Cheerio with a couple, Contreras with a couple. Everybody else got a hit piece. Lara, including 3 RBIs for the youngster. So a little bit more of an aggressive approach at the plate last night for the Brew Crew. They'll try to pick up a series win this afternoon. First pitch, 2:45. Shane Drone is going to be on the mound for the Brewers, but the Giants will be throwing out Logan Webb. And got some Brewers players here with quite a bit of experience going up against Logan Webb. So we'll break it down, recap late last night's W, and look ahead to the series finale before the Brewers are set to take on the Angels. So baseball talk, including keeping you posted and updated on some of the latest rumors and rumblings surrounding the trade deadline for the Brewers, and I guess Major League Baseball here too, because trade deadline coming up on Monday. So we'll keep you posted on that. But what else do we got on the docket? It is a What If Wednesday. So, per usual, you all have done a really good job over the weeks when we've done this What If. Give us some what ifs. What if sports scenarios out there? All right. What if? What if they did this? What if this happened? What if the team did this? And maybe let's do a little, like we mentioned yesterday, kind of a MLB trade deadline version or Brewers version, or if you're a Twins fan or you're a Cubs fan, I don't care. All right, I don't care. Pick your team and let's have a little what if MLB trade edition. Or since it is day one of Packers training camp, you could throw a little Packers one in there too. Or for crying out loud, it don't matter if it's Badgers. I know we had Media Day. Luke Fickell chatted a little bit yesterday. We'll go through some of the comments from him, what stood out, and all that fun jazz. So, but hey, what if? What if? Send us your best ones, okay? It is also what are we doing here Wednesday? what's the sports narrative or the, story, et cetera, where you'd be like, dude, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? All right, best ones I'll read up on the air. So got that Shoe Doctors bullpen line, 715-830-1912. The Section 105 chat room also up and rolling. So you can hit us up with some messages over there too. But that's kind of your game plan for us this morning, and whatever else you kind of want to hit up. All right, this is your program. So you got a question, you got a topic, got a thought that you want to throw out there for the rest of the listeners to contribute to or to chime into, send it on over. All right. Big shout out. We are now 10 a.m., 1 p.m. for the Casper Classic. Sold out. We have a record number of teams this year. If you still want to play it, you have to do the 7:30. We're going to keep that open for another day or two, but we got a record number of teams in that 7:30 slot too. So a big thanks to all of you for who have signed up to play in the outing. If you are looking to maybe still help out and contribute, we are looking for more raffle prizes in that, but a big thanks to everybody who has contributed to that already. Let's give a shout out to Window World presenting partners, Muldoon's, Service Master, Park Ridge Distributing, Hy-Vee, Edward Jones Financial Advisor, Kelsey Nicolai, Dodge, Cambridge, AJM Automotive, Myron Construction, VFW Post 305, Superior Auto Body, Home Oasis, Residence Branding, Claflin Construction, Carpet City Flooring Center, and Economy Furniture. Big thanks to everybody. So, all right, let's get things going here this morning, shall we? We'll get the lead off here. We'll open it up, talking a little baseball, recapping last night's W for the Brewers, looking ahead to Game 3 this afternoon. Logan Henderson looking pretty good yesterday, settled down nicely after a little bit of a longer first inning, but he had a solid outing, quality start for Logan Henderson to pick up his 5th win on the season and improve to 5-1. His season ERA is now at a 2.66. So, and then we'll preview the upcoming game with Shane Drowan and keep you posted on the latest trade buzz that's out there, maybe surrounding the Brew Crew. So let's take a quick break, and we'll get things going here on the leadoff, all right? I want to hear from you, though, so start sending us your thoughts, your messages. We'll be right back after these quick words. The countdown to fall sports is on. From Friday night football to volleyball, soccer, cross-country, athletes across the Chippewa Valley are getting ready to compete. But when injuries happen, getting the right care matters. Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine specializes in helping athletes getting back into the game with expert orthopedic care, sports medicine, and treatment that you can trust. Whether you are a weekend warrior or a high school athlete chasing your goals, their team is here to keep you moving. Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, your partner in staying active, healthy, and ready for the season ahead. Let's open up things this morning on this Making a Turn Wednesday, chatting a little Brew Crew, little Milwaukee Brewers, shall we? Let's get into this thing. Brew Crew last night, another late one, but picking up the W, an 8-2 victory for the Brewers. Let's start off with Logan Henderson. After giving up 33 pitches, he settled down nicely and ended up nearly completing 5 complete nearly going 6 innings, excuse me. He ended up going 5 2/3. Ended up with 93 pitch counts, but just 2 hits, 2 walks, and 7 Ks, no earned runs. Improves to 5-1 on the season and lowering his ERA to a 2.66. I'm going to talk a little bit more about Logan Henderson here in just a skosh, but offense, nice bounce back from the night prior, a little bit more aggressive at the plate. Bryce Terang in that leadoff spot. Brewers switch it up the lineup a little bit. Terang collecting 3 hits and a couple RBIs. Jackson Churio, a couple hits and a couple RBIs. Contreras, then Yelich batting in the cleanup spots. And then Lara picking up 3 RBIs. Every batter, every position player that was in that lineup picking up a hit. at least picking up a hit, getting a nice mark in the box score. So 13 total hits for the Brewers as they picked up their 67th win on the season to improve to 67-40 and 27 games over 500. I want to throw this out there because there is, with the trade deadline coming up here, if we look at Skubal, and I was reading again, MLB.com has a piece, who has the package? The package that would make the Tigers go, okay, yeah, let's move on from Skubal and get this. And they broke it down by teams, and they had the team beat writers kind of give their takes of potential teams interested in Skubal. And Adam McCullough from the Brewers wrote, very interested. The Brewers are one of those teams that must stockpile prospects, especially position player prospects, in order to contend year after year. But they are open to being more aggressive at this year's deadline and have touched base with the Tigers on Skubal and the Padres on Mason Miller. The tricky part is coming up with a return that meets Detroit's asking price, which almost certainly would include a Major League ready starter. The Brewers have a number of arms in that category: Kyle Harrison, Brandon Sproat, Logan Henderson. But that would mean taking a chunk out of the rotation for this year and beyond in order to land a number one like Skubal for 2 or 3 months. One can certainly make the argument it's worth it, and the Brewers saw what can happen in 2008 when they went all in for CC Sabathia. But there are plenty other examples of risk in that category. So, let's just throw this out there. What would your thoughts be if Logan Henderson was the main return to bring in Skubal? Would you be okay with that? Would you not like that? There probably would be a couple more pieces that the Brewers would have to give up in their minor league system. But if Logan Henderson is the main piece, what would your thoughts be? You look at what he's done this year: 5-1, 2.66 ERA, and 9 games started. You look at last year. Overall, career-wise, he's 8-1 with a 2.34 ERA. Not a lot of starts under his belt. 05 started 5 games and was 3-0 with a 1.78 ERA. Is Logan Henderson untouchable, in your opinion? Is it worth moving on from him if that means you can land Skubal for the next couple of months? It's not a guarantee that you're going to win the World Series. Does it improve your chances? Probably. But, at the same time, Logan Henderson's pitching at a really high level. Opponent's batting average against him so far this year, 195. So what do you do? Detroit, put yourself in the shoes of Brewers president of baseball operations, Matt Arnold, and says, and let's say Detroit calls you and says, hey, Logan Henderson plus a couple other, let's just say you include Logan Henderson in this deal. We'll make it official. We'll get it done. What's your response? Yay or nay? I'm sure there's other pieces you'd be like, no, not Logan Henderson, but let's throw in Brandon Sproat. But let's say no. Let's say the Tigers say no. And they want Logan Henderson. Do you do it? Or don't you? Hit me up. Kind of an informal poll sort of thing. It's tough. I mean, on one hand, you get Skubal. You get a veteran starter to mix into the starting rotation for a playoff run. This is honestly how I would probably react. I would be excited about Skubal. I would be pumped. Like, okay, the mindset is we are going for this thing. Here we go. Buckle up. let's do this. All in, baby. Yes. But then on the flip side, it's like, but man, we're not going to have Logan Henderson for the next few years. That's a tough pill to swallow. It's an internal battle. You're happy you get Skubal, but then you're like, oh, honestly, the first kind of example was probably like when the Badgers hired, and I know now it's not a great example, but at that time, it was kind of like when the Badgers hired Luke Fickell. You were like, oh, hey, Luke Fickell, but dang it, not Jimmy Leonard, you know what I mean? So it's tough. And I'm glad I don't have to make the decision. Do you sacrifice the future for maybe the now? But the thing is, too, is like Logan Henderson's still pitching really well. When Kyle Harrison returns, Logan Henderson's the top 3 in this rotation. I think the biggest question that if you're Matt Arnold, that you have to ask yourself when it comes to potentially acquiring a guy like maybe Skubal or another veteran starting pitcher. The question Matt Arnold has to ask himself is, do I trust this young starting staff when it gets to the postseason? Do I trust them? And I know we're focusing on Tarek Skubal because that's the number one guy, and we don't even know if the Tigers are going to do that. But we got another name being floated out there that was being floated out there yesterday, but maybe picking up a little bit of more steam here. This was from Jeff Passan, MLB insider from ESPN yesterday. Audio courtesy from Jeff Passan.
Yeah, well, Freddie Peralta will be getting out of Queens, and there are so many different places he could go. I know he's been tied to the Chicago Cubs a lot. Don't see that one happening necessarily. I think a lot of things would have to change in order for that to be a matchup. But one thing I did hear this week, Richard, is that the Mets have been talking with the Brewers about Freddie Peralta. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it's the kind of deal where you see what they would get back from Milwaukee, considering what they gave up. Is that a trade that David Stearns politically already just getting flayed every time he's mentioned in New York? Is that something he can pull off? Could he actually deal him back to Milwaukee?
There you go. So again, another report about potentially Freddie Peralta going back to the Brewers. Again, I think the biggest question that Matt Arnold and this Brewers team has to ask themselves is, when it comes to this starting pitching staff, do they trust what they currently have? They trust Mizorowski. I think that's no question. Mizorowski has already, in his short amount of time of his short career, has shown his ability to play in big moments and to, rise up to those big moments. I don't think they have any concern with that. There's just questions surrounding the other ones. Kyle Harrison, when he's been healthy and he's been out there, he's been great. Logan Henderson has been great. But do you trust them with the ball in there? Do you trust them if they got the ball in their hands for a playoff game? That's what it's going to boil down to. Or do they want a little bit more experience? And if we look at these reports and we look at these rumors, maybe they back-end veteran. Maybe you roll with the 4-man rotation of Miz, Logan, Harrison, and then you try to find that veteran for the back end. Shane Drone then goes to the pen, or maybe he's a part of a trade package. Same with Brandon Sproat. Man, that would be a tough pill for me to swallow if it includes Logan Henderson. I don't know if I could do that one. I'll be honest, I don't know if I can do that one. I don't know if Robert Gasser would be attractive for other teams. I know that's another name that we could be throwing in this mix, but you're not really hearing his name mentioned in some of these. That doesn't necessarily mean he hasn't been discussed, but man, I don't know. Because I'm already envisioning a future of Mizorowski, Kyle Harrison, and Logan Henderson for the next couple of years. And I don't know if I want to change that. But gosh darn it, seeing Skubal and Mizorowski. Oh, come on, baby. Come on. I mean, how do you not get excited for that if you're a Brewers fan, right? It's a tough call. What would you do? If the Tigers said, we'll do this deal if it includes Logan Henderson, what would you do? You don't have a big sample size of Logan Henderson throughout his career. So would you do it? Or would you say, nah? Let's take a quick break. We'll preview Game 3 coming up this afternoon. Shane Drone, another name that's being mentioned as maybe possible trade packages for the Brewers to acquire a immediate impact player, veteran starter, whatever it may be. Maybe a big opportunity for him this afternoon, too. Let's preview that game coming up after these quick words. When you're looking for your next vehicle, choose a dealership that knows and cares about the community it serves. Toyson Ford in Chippewa Falls is proud to be locally owned and operated, providing a hometown service and a better buying experience for drivers throughout the Chippewa Valley. Whether you're looking for a new Ford or a quality pre-owned vehicle or trusted service for the vehicle that you already know or already own, the team at Toyson Ford is there to help you out. Experience the difference of shopping local. Toyson Ford in Chippewa Falls, your hometown Ford dealer. We got a few messages here. We've got Mike says the Brewers have the best prospects in baseball. The way people make it out to be, they could compete as a team at the major league level. At what point do these prospects get frustrated that they're still at the minor league level when they would be playing up for any other team at the top levels? John says the idea about getting Skubal, would be to get to 4 quality starters. Trading away one of our best 3 for a 1-year rental would make no sense. C-Bomb says, I go back to the question at the beginning of the season, would you have given up Henderson for Skubal? I would have jumped at that. Henderson shows a ton of potential, but I would gladly take a 2-time Cy Young winner and proven ace come playoff time. But can we still say go back to the beginning of the season because of where things have, things are a little bit different though, right? If we factor in some of the things, Skubal's already had a surgery this year. Granted, he has looked well and played well as of late. Logan Henderson maybe pitching better than what was probably going to be expected at the beginning of the year because he had only had 5 starts under his belt heading into the season. So, at the beginning of the year, you probably are. But, given what we have seen so far from Logan Henderson, where we're talking about he's a top 3 starter in this rotation, it's kind of changed, hasn't it? So I don't know if I can go back and ask that question and have the same answer. Because at the beginning of the year, yes, I probably would have said, heck yeah. But, the way Logan Henderson has been pitching, and, granted, too, Logan Henderson's been on the injured list here for a little bit. He's come back, and he's looked sharp. So, you can make cases for either or. I don't think it's as simple as go back to asking that question at the beginning of the year. It's tough. Really, it's tough. You can make, again, the case for either side. And as much as we don't like to admit it or we don't like to say it as Brewers fans, Brewers they have to operate a little bit differently than maybe some other ball clubs when it comes to the now and the future, if you know what I mean. It's going to be interesting to see what they do in the next few days, if they do anything. All right, so let me throw this out there. Say it's going to be Logan Henderson, another top prospect, and maybe a single A prospect It could be a bigger package. I don't know, but I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. Say it's going to be Logan Henderson, another top position player prospect and a single A prospect to get Skubal. Or let's say it's somebody that's ranked 15th or lower in your prospect system for Freddie Peralta for a back end. But you get to keep Logan Henderson, Shane Drone, and Brandon Sproat. Then, which one is more appealing to you? Which one you got? Think about that one for a little bit. What if? That's kind of a what if scenario. What if those were the two trade packages that were on the table? A prospect around, let's say, ranked 17th, 18th, 19th in the Brewers farm system for Freddie Peralta straight up. Or Logan Henderson plus a top 15 prospect and then another lower end prospect for Skubal. You have those two offers on the table. What if those were the two offers on the table? Which one are you going for? Maybe you're not going for either one. I don't know. Whatever it is, make your pick. Game 3 tonight's. Shane Drowan is on the mound. Logan Webb going for the Giants. Logan Webb, who is 5-7 with a 3.98 ERA this season. But he's coming off of back-to-back performances with no decision. His latest one was against the Angels, 6 innings, 4 earned runs. The start before that, Seattle, 6 2/3, 3 earned runs. And then Toronto, 7 innings, 5 earned runs in a loss. He did pitch against Milwaukee back on the 3rd. It was a win where he went 7 innings and gave up just 1 hit, 1 walk. So he was dominant in that June 3rd matchup against the Brewers. On the flip side, we've got, again, Shane Drowan on the mound here, who has been a nice surprise. We've talked about it at length with Shane Drowan's season so far. And it'll be interesting to see if he's been potentially mentioned as part of trade packages and all that fun stuff. He did go up against the Giants on the 1st. No decision, 4 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, including a home run. Did strike out 5 in that contest. So, obviously, the Brewers hitters, a lot of these Brewers hitters have a little bit more experience going up against Logan Webb when you kind of break it down here. Yelich in 16 career at-bats, just 125 batting average and just a 347 OPS. Yeah. On the flip side, Terang, who picked up 3 hits last night in 12 career at-bats, is hitting 417 with a 1.000 OPS against him. Vaughn, 10 career at-bats, just 100 and a 291 OPS. Contreras, 10 career at-bats, 100, 350 OPS. Jackson Churio, 6 career at-bats, does have a home run, but 167, 834 OPS. So Terang easily has the best numbers going up against Logan Webb, which, again, kind of interesting to see Yelich's numbers against him. Yeli being a left-hander and Logan Webb being that right-handed pitcher, to see those numbers really struggling against Logan Webb. But we'll see how it kind of plays out. And then, obviously with Shane Drowan having a previous start against the Giants earlier in the year, you got some guys with a couple ABs out there, but not really a whole lot to write home about there. So 2:45, first pitch. Coverage will begin 35 minutes prior on your radio dials, 105.1 FM, 790 AM. And see if the Brewers can pick up that win, pick up a series win, and then travel on over to take on the Angels as they continue their West Coast trip. Brewers will have the off day tomorrow before beginning that 3-game series against the Angels. So All right, we got to take a quick break as we start to wrap up the first hour. Coming up in the next hour, we'll talk a little football as we get set for training camp practice numero 1 for the Green Bay Packers. What are going to be some of the initial things that you're going to be following from reporters, writers, when it comes to the first day camp or maybe the first couple of days of camp, player-wise, what have you? All right, what's the first initial thing that's you really would pay attention to? Maybe put yourself in the shoes that you're going to go cover practice. You're a writer. You're a media member. What's going to draw your attention first? Hit me up. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back after these quick words. Nobody plans for an accident, but when the unexpected happens, you want a team that you can trust. At Superior Auto Body in Eau Claire, they're proud to be locally owned and operated, providing quality collision repair and hometown service to drivers throughout the Chippewa Valley. Their experienced team takes pride in every repair, treating your vehicle with the same care and attention they would give their own. When you need collision repair that you can count on, choose the people who live and work right here in your community. Superior Auto Body in Eau Claire, locally owned, locally trusted, and here to get you back on the road. We got about 10 minutes left to the top of the hour. Surveyor Sam coming in with a quick text saying, good morning, DK. If I was covering the Packers from day one, I would be watching the corners. Who is taking first-team reps? Who is taking the impact or who's making the impact plays during practice, and who is impressing not only my eyes, but all the other reporters as well. And then I'm watching Jagger in the O-line, who looks better and what line looks better with the rookie Jagger or my dude Sean Ryan. Yeah, good ones there. Keep those coming. Appreciate the text there, Surveyor Sam. It is also a What Are We Doing Here Wednesday? So give us your sports. What's the sports story? What's the sports narrative, take, however you want to describe it, where you'd be like, man, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Also, it is a What If Wednesday. Bo on the video stream asked, what if the Packers would have signed Randy Moss for Brett Favre instead of the Patriots? I'm assuming you mean trade for him. Now, remember, part of that rumor report was potentially Aaron Rodgers for Randy Moss. I mean, it's hard not to. I mean, you think about that 2007 season. Packers went to the NFC Championship game. Patriots were undefeated that year. Patriots lost in the Super Bowl to the Giants. Would Randy Moss have made the difference that year? I don't know. I don't know if that would have been enough to take it over the top. Because you had Jennings, you had Driver, you had James Jones. Maybe Favre plays for a couple more years in Green Bay. But you have that trickle-down effect. Let's say if it was Rodgers a part of that deal, they're probably not Super Bowl 45 champs. Honestly, I think if you ask Green Bay, I know Ted Thompson's a GM and he's no longer here, but I think he'd probably say glad they didn't make that move. Keep those coming, though. What if? What other what ifs do you have out there? Okay, so we'll get to some more football talk coming up in the next hour. But it looks like I won't go through all the text here, but it looks like the majority of you, maybe a slight majority, maybe about 70-30, are saying no to keeping or to trading Logan Henderson as part of a package for Skubal. I'd say about 70-30 if I'm looking, just kind of going through some of the texting here, that you would say you'd rather keep Logan Henderson instead of acquiring a package, or instead of including him in a package that would acquire Tarek Skubal. It's tough. It's definitely tough. I honestly would be in if it were to happen, if, one morning we're talking about Logan Henderson gone and Tarek Skubal's here, I'd be pumped. I'd be excited, but at the same time, be like, oh, darn, but it's Logan Henderson, man. I wouldn't be claiming that that's a bad deal. It's a horrible trade. What is Matt Arnold doing? I'd be like, okay, let's go. I just really hope it works. I don't think the Brewers are going to include him, though. If I were a betting person, I don't think they're going to include Logan Henderson in a deal. It's about 50-50 too. When I gave you the scenario of if it's like, let's say, 18th ranked prospect for Freddie Peralta straight up, or Logan Henderson, and let's say a top 15 prospect and another single A lower end prospect for Skubal, it's about, actually, no, it's not 50. It's about 60-40 if you had to pick between those two. 60-40, they would go with the Peralta one, according to a lot of you who are texting in right now. Keep your picks coming. Okay, keep your picks coming. A little bit later on, too, I do want to go through Luke Fickell's comments to the media yesterday, Big Ten Media Day. So we'll talk a little Badgers now that we got to hear from head ball coach himself, Luke Fickell. Obviously, he's been in the news here the last couple of weeks, especially with that Athletic article. So we'll have we'll get what he had to say about that and kind of the outlook to this Badger football team for this year. So we'll throw a little Badger football chat in here on this Wednesday morning, too. So, again, Brewers 2:45. Shane Drone on the mound for the Crew this afternoon, excuse me. Try to win another series to keep pace for their division lead over the Cubs. Cubs picked up a 10-2 win against the Cardinals last night. When you look at where things are at in the NL Central, Brewers still holding on to a 6-game lead over the Cubbies. Pirates, they're in third right now, 55-53. The Cardinals now below 500, 53 and 54 on the season, and then you've got the Reds at the bottom. So got a couple minutes left to the top of the hour. We got Morgan's. How the heck do you not know what flats and paddles were?
Okay, how did word get back here? Oh, he did not.
He had to grind his gears saying that you didn't know what flats and paddles were.
I've never heard of that before. It sounds like something you need to do when you're using defibrillators. It's a chicken
Well, if you
thing.
have a lot of them, you'd probably have to use a defibrillator.
Right,
yeah.
one leak's cause and effect. I've never heard that. This is something you grew up with? Are you kidding me?
You've never heard that phrase before?
Never.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
I know. Failure. One thing after the other. I'm a constant, complete...
It's deep dish over thin crust one week, and now you don't even know what flats and
I know.
paddles are.
I'm telling you, it's like a parade of disappointment. It just keeps coming. I'll throw you out Tootsie Rolls in the middle.
Oh.
This, I'm telling you right now.
Yuck.
This is common knowledge. This is common knowledge for people. Flats and paddles for chicken wings.
Flats or dummies. You know,
yeah. Okay. See, dummies I've heard. I've even heard drummies.
Yeah. But you haven't heard flats?
Never.
Do you know what they are now?
I mean, it was explained to me.
All right.
So
which one would you prefer?
flats.
Okay.
How about you?
See, flats have more meat. Mm-hmm. Paddles/dummies, easier for dipping if you want ranch.
Well, and they're the real deal.
And a little bit easier to handle, maybe a little less messy.
Yeah, but I say blue cheese over ranch.
No. Depends on the blue cheese. I don't know if I'm going into an unknown situation and how the blue cheese is. I got to go with the ranch.
Okay, I'm not going to... Yeah, if the blue cheese looks suspicious or has something growing on it...
That one's more of a wild card.
Yeah.
That one's a little bit more of a wild card.
Speaking of wild cards, it is Wednesday, which means we get to draw from the deck and you get to answer a rando question for us. Let's go roulette today. Pick a number between 1 and 32, my friend.
We'll go 32.
What is a quality that you admire in other people but don't have yourself?
Patience.
So true.
Yeah.
Spontaneity. I don't like spontaneity. Like, I'm
What
not
the
a
heck is
surprise.
that?
I don't enjoy being surprised.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if somebody just showed up and said, we're going somewhere on a plane, I'm not going to tell you where, I'd be like, It's like sketchy blue cheese. I don't dip into that bag.
Yep.
I don't like that. Okay, what's a memory that you would go back to and revisit but not change anything about? Just live in it a little bit longer.
And not change
Not
anything
change.
about
Just
it?
a memory. It doesn't even have to be a biggie. Like, well, let's take the biggies, like wedding, kids being born. The biggies are off the table.
Okay.
This is just maybe like an innocuous, everyday, don't know, there's nothing really that special about it, but it means a lot to you memory that you want to go back and revisit without changing anything about it.
The feeling I had when Green Bay won Super Bowl 45.
I see you got the Packers gear on today. I figured since they were back in
Training
action today,
camp,
you'd be
so-
representing.
Yep. So,
Yeah. Speaking of, what do you think about Rodgers' hard